All right, here we go. All right, we are back, guys. This is going to be U.S. Avengers number 11, the first issue of its legacy run, and it's not going to be a long legacy run. And what's it end at 12, and then it gets lumped into Avengers for the crossover in January. That's going weekly. So this is going to be it's going to be 13 issues then. So yeah, this is probably going to be the final arc that it's kicking off here, and it's called The Search for Cannonball Begins, as the U.S. Avengers head into outer space to find their missing member. Where is Sam Gerthy? Oddly enough, he finds himself trapped on the strangest planet of all, Glenbrook, USA, home and fiefdom of Richie Redwood, America's best-loved teenager. But if teenage life is so idyllic, why do the teens keep disappearing? So yeah, that's what's going on here in this issue. They kind of thought Cannonball sacrificed himself, but then learned he kind of got like Tim Draked and sucked off into some other place at the last minute and is really safe. So now they're hunting him down. This, like Trevitt mentioned, is an Al Ewing joint. We got some fantastic art this issue from Paco Diaz and Jesus Abertroff. Lettering is by, it's on the first page here, Joe Carmanga, VC's Virtual Calligraphies, Joe Carmanga. And yeah, we kick off the issue, like I said, with some great art by Paco Diaz with a suburban scene and camel toe, I was about to say.
Like all the smoke I was inhaling blew out of my mouth before I could inhale it because
Cannonball, who is hanging out with Howard Mason in handcuffs and shackles here, deep powers around his neck. He is in custody of some of the wealthy people of this outer space planet called Glenbrook. It's kind of like a Pleasantville-esque town where everyone's putting on this just giant charade. And Cannonball's trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, if this is such a nice place, why am I in handcuffs? And Mr. Mason's like, oh, sorry about that. And he really kind of frees him. So he's walking down the road, and Cannonball's trying to mine him for information. He's getting a little bit of information from him. And then they run into this character named Richie Redwood. He will become a reoccurring character throughout the book, and he's kind of like it seems like the big bad, if you ask me. He kind of reminds Mr. Mason to stay in character or get back into his role because he's kind of fallen out of character while chatting with Cannonball here. And it appears Richie doesn't really want Cannonball to know the entire gist of what's going on around here. As he introduces himself as just a normal, regular, typical teenager, Richie Redwood, to Cannonball. We flash then to oh god, I'm gonna have a hell of a time pronouncing this. Kakatu, the Shi'ar mid-class diplomatic vessel that the other U.S. Avengers are currently on. Roberto DaCosta, owner of AIM, and Smasher are kind of addressing Squirrel Girl, Red Hulk, Iron Patriot, and Enigma. Kind of giving them the gist of the situation and telling them Cannonball's not dead and we're trying to hunt him down and this is how we're going to do it. Tippy Toe the Squirrel ends up telling Squirrel Girl to ask Roberto how they are going to do this, and there's a tracker planted in Cannonball because, he's a Shi'ar super guardian, along with his wife Smasher, and
well, he's not, just his wife is.
No, just she is.
Yeah, just he's them married. Yeah, just because they're married.
But he's got like one of the trackers in, like she would have, because she's a super guardian. Okay, so yeah, I misunderstood that a little bit, but yeah, he's basically got a tracker that they're going to use to hunt him down with Smasher's help. Kind of little beef occurring because she works for the Shi'ar, and they're kind of attacking Earth once in a while. But anyway, they get over that, and you see a conversation going down with the other Avengers in the side room, kind of Red Hulk, who's been going through some shit, some health problems, really, since the Secret Empire stuff all went down. and he basically isn't really allowed to turn into Red Hulk because it could kill him. He's got like heart problems, got like a Wally West thing going on there.
Yeah.
So they're dealing with some drama of their own, and that kind of all gets interrupted. All the drama everywhere gets interrupted by an attack on the space vessel. It's kind of like a Star Wars-esque moment, you know, when the drama starts hitting the fan, they start getting shot at. So they look out to see who's attacking them, and believe this or not, it is like a group of 1920s mobsters and like 1920s Cadillacs and Mercedes coming after them, like hanging off the side of the car with Tommy guns and everything. They're kind of perplexed at the fact that they can be caught at the speed they're traveling at. And we cut back to the what's this place called? Glenbrook. Yeah, we cut back to the Glenbrook scene going on here. And this is Richie, who has taken Cannonball to get suited up here, suited and zooted, because they're trying to make him be a teacher to teach them about the ways of Earth culture, basically. Cannonball's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Everything, again, is just kind of trying to appear normal. They run into a group of teenagers. And these teenagers, I don't know if they're caught off guard by Cannonball or just being around Richie, like they're under too much pressure, but they keep like falling in and out of character, and Richie's getting pissed. He has to keep reminding everybody to stay in fucking character. You know, he's getting real annoyed at this point. And this one girl, yeah, like is freaking out because she can't like maintain character. She's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's all excited because he's from Earth, and that's what they base their whole entire shtick on.
Yeah, but once they find out he's from Earth, they like lose their whole, you know, they fall out of their shtick, and they just want to like bombard him with questions. You know what I'm saying? Cannonball gets annoyed by this whole thing occurring and just decides to take off. He's just like, I'm fucking out of here, and he blasts off. So yeah, he's flying, and Richie tells this dude named Biff, you know, a la Back to the Future, to go get him. And I'm like, okay, how is he going to go catch a flying cannonball? I'm not quite sure how this is going to happen. But we find out pretty quickly when he ends up bamfing in front of Cannonball, and he is like an amalgam of every 90s X-Men costumed character there ever was. He's got the legs of Nightcrawler, wings of Archangel, body of Colossus, visor and face of Cyclops. This is Biff, right?
Yeah, it's Biff. Fucking Biff.
Okay. I'm like, okay, so they can just turn into an amalgam of every X-Men ever, and he blasts Cannonball out of the sky. Then we go back to the invasion on the vessel, and we got Roberto da Costa and the rest of the team trying to fight off these 1920s mobsters, all different shapes and sizes, and some are even like alien-esque. Red Hulk does what he's not supposed to do, hits his Hulk button on his arm, hulks out, starts taking out the big guys. And Squirrel Girl and the rest of the characters, you know, kind of take care of all the mobsters. They single out really who kind of is the leader here, I guess. The guy with, you know, the official 20s mobster hat and the whole slang and everything. And they're trying to mine him for information. And he gets the hint of where they're going. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't go there. That's not really a sweet place to go. Speaking of not sweet places to go, we go back to Glenbrook, and Cannonball is all beat to shit with a ball and chain, looks like a mine on his foot. And he's just stuck in jail. He runs into just a group of random teenagers that apparently couldn't stay in character. One looks like a Skrull. He looks like well, what's the dude from Archie's got the crown? Jughead. Yeah, they all kind of look like Archie characters, a little bit. And yeah, that's how the book concludes. Like, everybody's in jail. These are the people that wouldn't get with the program, I guess. Seems like this is where Richie's putting people, because that's who everyone's scared of. But that's how the issue ends. No, really, Trevor's going through a power shortage over there. He's got a storm. But we're going to try to get through this book anyway and tell you to buy, borrow, or forget. I don't know, man. This was a weird fucking book. I'll tell you, when we picked this book to do and cover, this is not in any way, shape, or form the story I anticipated on reading. I'm all for weird shit, like I really am, and I thought the art was fantastic. I think this is a Reggie comic book through and through, and I think he would really enjoy it. But I don't know. I'm so torn on it. It's definitely not a buy for me, and it really is bordering on borrow or forget, depending on your taste in comics. If you're up for a goofy type of story, kind of like an mock of Archie comics life, like, I really think you would like this. And if that's not what you're in the mood for, I think you would hate it for any other reason. Like, you know, sometimes you grab an Avengers book and there's just a stigma about it and something you expect, and this really wasn't what I expected. And I kind of wanted to learn a little bit about some of these interesting characters, which is why I highlighted them for our midpoint facts. But I didn't get much out of it as far as that goes. So I think I'm going to have to overall say forget for this one, but I can see why people might like it or might enjoy it. It's definitely a taste thing. I loved the art. I would like to see this team on. Well, I don't know why they're not on the main Avengers book, to be honest with you. But yeah, other than that, that was my favorite part of it. I would like to hear your opinion, though, because I could see why people would like it. It's just not something that's for me. Definitely not.
You know what? This every issue that I've read of this so far has been like a little goofy. Like, they had this crazy issue. The art's always either done by Paco Diaz or Paco Medina, the two Pacos, which they both have similar styles. Although Paco Medina, it looks like Paco Diaz mixed with Jim Chung a little bit, Paco Medina. But there's one issue I read. Red Hulk gets sent on a mission. It's right before the opening salvo issue of Secret Empire.
Yeah.
Which I think we covered on the Marvel Minute, because we were talking about how we found out how Cap likes his coffee. But Red Hulk goes on a mission to find this like government dinosaur that gets let loose in this Eastern European country, and then he runs into Deadpool. See, Deadpool was there, and he gets injected with this monster serum. So they have this fight, and after every 2 or 3 pages, there's a new cover. Like, so there'll be like a cover, like it's a brand new issue. Like, after every 3rd page, it'll be like, "To can be continued," and then you turn the page, it'll be a new cover that says U.S. Avengers with the creative team, the whole 9. And then, you know, you'll go back into the story again, and all this wacky shit happens. So it's a pretty wacky book to begin with. And this issue reminds me, you ever see that movie The Experts from like it was from the 80s with John Travolta and that guy, where they like wake up in this town in Russia, and it's just like this. It's like an American town in the 1950s, and they get brought there to show them how to be more American and make it more authentic.
Yeah.
And it's just
I've never seen it, but that sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah. It was like a B movie that was in the theater for like a week and got taken out. Yeah. But it was hilarious. I used to see it on HBO all the time, and I always watched it. And this reminds me of that. And I honestly enjoyed this. The art was great. The story was goofy, but it was fun. You know, I mean, Al Ewing did a pretty good job. There was a point where Sam was confused. Who was it, Sam, or was it friggin' Roberto? I forget. I'm looking for the part right now.
What part?
Oh, the part where the X-Men thing where Biff shows up, and he's like, "Okay, now I'm really confused," which was funny because we're really confused too. You know what I mean? So like, we'll see something like that, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And then he sees it, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's kind of like he's reacting as the reader's reacting to this goddamn story. Like we're the ones in
Yeah,
Cannonball's position almost. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly,
no,
exactly.
I'm not
I
doing
love that.
that. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Get me out of here. You know, like, yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I definitely said, like, I think what I anticipated the book to be like, and it not being that way, like, definitely affected my enjoyment. It wasn't something I'm in the mood for, or wasn't in the mood for. Like, I do like goofy books. You know,
Yeah,
I'm down for a Doom Patrol type crazy story, but I think I know when I pick up Doom Patrol, that's what I'm getting into, and that's the mindset I take going in. And when I didn't have that mindset going in, I'm just like, oh, I don't know what this is all about. You know, it was just weird. Uh,
and
uh,
unlike Black Panther, this is a good first issue for a new arc and a legacy because like
yeah,
even though you might
fresh
not have read
story.
the past arc. Yeah, I mean, we all know Secret Empire happened. We all know that there was a big fight in space and with the Chitauri, and we don't need to read the book to know that something happened and Sam got taken away and sold into slavery to this crazy ass prince who runs this planet like it's the
Yeah,
1950s America. Um,
yeah.
so you don't need to know previous stuff to enjoy it.
And DaCosta
Uh,
at one point early in the book does a good job of kind of filling you in on it anyway, like
he does.
what's going on and what happened.
He really does, and geez, I love Paco Diaz's art. Like especially when Roberto turns into Sunspot when he's like all black and he's got all the solar energy around him flaring and stuff. That
Yeah,
headband kind of annoys
I
me.
meant to ask you what his name, because he's going by what now? Citizen 5? What the fuck is that?
Citizen 5. Yeah, that's the name
That
they
is
gave him when he took
stupid.
over AIM. I know. So when he took over AIM, they called him Citizen 5 for some strange fucking reason. But he's an OG New Mutant uh, Sunspot, which
Yeah, I like
you know
Sunspot as a name better.
Yeah, way better, way better. I was saying earlier, it doesn't do with the book, but if you've ever seen Days of Future Past, they made him like a character like Johnny Storm, where he like flames on and like melts things and shoots fireballs, and that is not his power set at all. Like he absorbs solar energy, and that gives him super strength and makes him more durable. But that's it. Like he doesn't shoot fucking fireballs or flame on or anything. He's just got the solar energy around him, and his eyes turn yellow and shit. Um, but yeah, it was a really fun time and fun book, and it got me interested to see where we're gonna go because it got really crazy with these fucking because not only do we have this planet with the 1950s, but we also got these crazy guys that came out of nowhere that act like it's the 1920s. So I get a feeling that like
I know.
in the Andromeda galaxy, there's either another planet or another continent on the planet that they are on where they live life like it's the 1920s instead of the 1950s. It's just so fucking wacky. And I'm
Yeah, it's
curious to
crazy.
see how crazier it's going to get, especially like I get the feeling that Sam is not the only person who has gotten sold into slavery to be a character, like because because he sees the Skrull and he's like, okay, this kind of explains a lot, like
Yeah, I wish the cliffhanger would have the scroll would have mentioned like, yeah, and we're the other people that didn't listen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
yeah,
I was
yeah,
really
yeah.
lost at the cliffhanger, which
Uh,
affected my enjoyment a little bit too.
I figured that's what it was, and I'm excited because like the next issue that's what's gonna they're gonna open up and he's gonna talk back and forth with this guy and he's gonna fill him in on the deal like, oh, I got kidnapped and sold into slavery too, and I'm from I'm a Skrull. Obviously he can tell he's a Skrull, but so I'm kind of I kind of want to see more. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a buy. I really
Yeah,
liked this issue. Not to take it like not seriously, but just like a fun time. Like I had a lot of fun with
yeah,
it. I was
yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, it was. It was a very strange time. So
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap up book section number 1 here. We're gonna go to the midpoint marvelous facts. We're going to tell you a little bit about 2 of these characters from US Avengers, kind of little lesser known characters, and they're actually created very, very recently. Um, the first one is going to be General Robert Maverick. General Robert Maverick is the current Red Hulk guy.
What a
Um,
name.
he is created by Al Ewing and Gerardo Sandoval. His first appearance was back in Avengers Volume 6, Number 0, as just Robert Maverick, a general in the military. and that was from December 2015. He officially became Red Hulk in U.S. Avengers #1, March 2017. And that was the issue with like the 50 different state covers. So if you're interested in picking that up, you know, there's a variant out there with your specific state on it. Shout out to California, which is our highest listening state. So thank you guys. Anyway, back to the marvelous facts here. With the rebranding of AIM, Maverick became a member of the U.S. Avengers. Using an improved version of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Hulk plugins, Maverick was then, you know, the new Red Hulk. So yeah, he's got like this kind of control thing on his arm, a little like Amadeus Chow to transform in and out of the Hulk, even though Chow's having a little trouble with the Red Hulk. He's a little different than the Green Hulk, basically, I'll just say, without getting into specifics. So something kind of crazy this is also pretty recent. As a consequence of overtaxing his body when Hydra forced him to stay hulked out for longer than he should have, Maverick now suffers severe health issues, including heart damage and high blood pressure. So because of this, he would need to regularly medicate for the rest of his life, and he's not supposed to turn into the Red Hulk like he did. So yeah, maybe you know, that'll be addressed in the next one, and some consequences and all that. So yeah, that you know, if you're interested to see why he was hulked out for so long and how all that happened, this book tied into Secret Empire for like 6 issues, didn't it? A long time.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 issues.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Second character we're going to talk about here is Enigma, and that person inside Enigma is a Finnish or Norwegian girl named Akayu Jokinen. I mean, good luck with that. But
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, I think I got it. I watch a lot of Winter Olympics, so that might have helped out finally for once in my life. Creators were Jonathan Hickman and Stefano Caselli. Her first appearance, was in Avengers Volume 5, #4, March 2003. She only appeared in the shadows of that issue, and then her first full appearance. What'd you say?
You mean 2013?
Yeah, 2013. That's what I meant. Yeah. Sorry. And then her first official full appearance, not in shadow, was in Avengers Volume 5, #15, and that was in September of 2013. So later that year, she was out of the shadow and officially appeared. She's just a normal girl who bonded with sentient armor that was sent down to Earth by Ex Nihilo. So it's a creation of his, and she was just kind of in the area and kind of, you know, bonded with this armor. She's currently like free of the armor and just in this Enigma suit, it's called. And that happened when Akayu and the pod system armor were fatally injured. The suit gave up its life to heal Akayu. However, its undersuit, which is what she wears now, remained with the young girl, giving her the following abilities, such as energy blasts, density manipulation. She can fly. She can phase through things. She has an image educer, which allows the armor to kind of give her a holographic disguise, so she can look like she's wearing clothes while the armor's on. It can camouflage her, and she's got access to like lasers in there and shit. So, you know, that was kind of a character when I saw her in the first page of the book. I was like, oh, I want to see what she's about a little bit. And you only really saw her in actual action one panel, really. So
yeah.
I didn't know anything about this new Red Hulk, so I wanted to know who the actual character was and stuff. So that's why I picked those two specifically. But
I saw her do some cool stuff in the first 5 issues, like phasing through walls, and she can like put other people through walls and shit.
Yeah, a little Kitty Pryde-esque there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap up the Midpoint Marvelous Facts and kick it and hope Trevitt's power lasts for the all new Wolverine #26. And I will stop being a Debbie Downer and spoil things a little ahead of time, this was definitely a book I liked here. So Trevor's going to take
Yeah,
it off and tell us about All New Wolverine 26.
most definitely. Let me just scrolling back for some, like when we were talking about U.S. Avengers, I went to look at, because before U.S. Avengers, Al Ewing did that New Avengers run, and it was
Yeah.
the same team. Like there were a couple of extra people, like Hulkling and what's his name, the other kid from Young Avengers, his boyfriend, Scarlet Witch's son. But yeah, that follows it, and I was looking through it, and like a lot of the same characters and other people show up in that book. It was like pretty cool. But let me get into the solicit of All New Wolverine. So we got writer, the great Tom Taylor. I don't know why he's not on other books at Marvel. Come on, Marvel, give him some more work.
Yeah, he does. Well, he does Injustice. I think that takes a lot of time up because it's fucking a
Because it's
weekly
weekly.
book. Yeah.
Yeah. But because I read an interview with him when he was talking about this new arc, and he was talking about how much he always has all, like, because if you notice, it was all throughout All New Wolverine, all different characters from the Marvel universe always show up. And he was talking about in the interview how he loves Marvel characters, and because he doesn't do a lot of other Marvel books, that's why he brings a lot of the other characters into his book. And I think he could just do, like, I wish he was on Avengers or something. But
yeah, I really like him as a writer. Like Injustice 2 is one of my favorite books, just flat out.
Yeah,
One of the ones
his stuff
really
is. And another thing I like is that he stays current on the books, like he was talking about in the interview, that he reads all the other Marvel books, so he knows where the characters are and what he should and shouldn't do. And so, like, he keeps up with everything. You know, Al Ewing's that type of guy too. So you gotta take advantage of those good writers and start giving them good books. But so the art in inks are done by Juan Cabal. You might remember him from the Elektra series that failed but had beautiful art. Colors by Nolan Woodard. Letters by Virtual Calligraphy's Corey Pettit, with a cover, beautiful cover by Terry Dodson. So the solicit is Orphans of X Part 2. The mysterious and deadly Orphans of X continue to unfold their terrible plan for Laura and those close to her. But how are they connected to Wolverine? And what do they know about Laura and her past? Also featuring the charismatic and deadly son of Logan, Dakin. So, which I like the relationship that Dakin and Laura have. Like in that last arc, it's, well, I get maybe the arc, because what's his name? Tom Taylor does like 3 to 4 issue arcs, so they go kind of quick, but they don't feel quick, and they always read really well. So the arc before the last arc, when she got that alien disease, well, everybody got that alien disease, and she was healing people by touching them. He showed up at the end, and he's not like a fucking hero. He didn't show up just to like heal these people because he gave a shit about them. He showed up to help her, because they have a good brother and sister relationship that happened during the X-23 book. But so we start off this issue with Dakin on a table being tortured for some information, which we find out why later, by the Orphans of X. This also gives us a look at the folks who put his arm on the top of that lamppost in the last issue. So,
yeah, he's laying there on the table with no arm, strapped naked to this like just marble board. It looks like,
Somebody, what's it called? Tom Taylor said, because they cut off his arm that had the tattoos, and this is the first time that his arm has been cut off, that very arm. And when his arm was on the top of that telephone pole in the last issue, it had the tattoo. And Tom Taylor said he likes the idea that Dakin has like this tattoo artist on call that will redo his tattoo every time he regrows an arm. So I was like, that's kind of funny. So this douchebag, we find out later, whose name is Ian, gets cocky and takes off one of Dakin's restraint to reposition his arm while he's talking all kinds of shit about his wife and or girlfriend. We don't know because it's immaterial. So he's going to torture him, and he thinks Dakin is really weak, but it doesn't work out for him because this asshole ends up, when he's going to slice his arm,
Dakin's he unhooks his arm like a dumbass.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know what he's thinking he's going to do. He's like, he thinks that he's going to weak and not going to be able to do anything. So he's like repositioning his arm, getting ready to cut it off with the sickle. and he puts his palm on Dakin's wrist. Obviously didn't do his research, not realizing that he has a claw there, and he pops
Right.
that claw and catches his hand, and then fucking shoves the two like regular claws into his fucking face, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. He goes like under his jaw and they come out through the top of his head.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking badass. So he gets up, assesses the situation, and then grabs the mask. I love when he grabs the mask. He's like, "I'll take this," and just slides it off his head.
Yeah.
And then we flip the page and we catch up with Laura, Gabby, and Sarah at Laura's aunt's house, where Beast is checking out Sarah to see if she's okay.
Beast
Gabby
looks
can't
8 foot tall in the scene, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He looks big. I think this is like, a lot of people draw Beast in different ways. Some people draw him more cat-like. Some people draw him like very huge and hulkish. I like this slender man Beast look a lot
Yeah.
better.
I don't hate this look. He does he doesn't look all crazy like he does sometimes, but
yeah. Like he looks like this stocky like
he's in a room
beast.
full of women and he doesn't have a shirt on. Also, I noticed
Yeah.
that.
Usually either he doesn't have a shirt on or if he has like a vest or something. Like
Yeah, he
he
usually
likes
has
to
like the
be.
wrestling onesie that at least there's like straps covering his nipples usually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He likes to be fancy free Beast. He's a naturist. But so Gabby can't stop staring at Sarah because the idea of having a mother excites her, so she just keeps staring at her. And I love he's like she's like, so because Laura asked her, like, why do you stop staring? Why do you keep staring? She's like, well, if she's your mother, then does that mean she's my mom too? And she's like, I haven't really thought of that. She's like, I guess she is. Same DNA and all, She's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I'm going to keep staring. I love it. She's like, I have a healing factor. My eyes can get as dried out as they want, so I'm not blinking. And she just keeps staring at her.
Yeah,
Gabby's
Gabby's
fucking
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She's one of the best, like, new characters created that wasn't forced. Like, part of a good story. I don't want to get into that, but because I could talk about All New Wolverine for days. Tom, this is like one of the new books that they came out with during like All New, All Different that was really successful, really earned like a natural progression for the X-23 character, and even when they introduced Gabby, it just made a lot of sense. It wasn't like forced at all. But
It just helps that she was around forever, not just like someone that popped up magically and then got,
yeah,
powers or whatever. But anyway.
yeah, really well done. So Beast tells him that she's fine. In fact, she's more than fine. She has like the health of someone younger than what she is, and they figure it's because she's been in stasis for so long. It must have preserved her. So they ask Sarah what happened, and she tells them that she survived Laura's feral attack, and someone picked her up and took her back into the facility and put her into like this tank, this liquid stasis tank, and she felt like it was days, but it was actually years.
Yeah,
As she
she got
walked.
like Weapon X treatment almost, like put in one of those
Yeah.
water tubes.
So just in case people don't know, the reason why she was dead was because when they were trying to escape that facility, when Laura was a little girl, they she used to have that trigger scent that made her go ballistic and would just kill everybody, and they used it on her mom and made her like kill her mom. So she thought she murdered her mom. So this is like a really big like emotional deal. Like for new readers, I don't know if they get it as much as they should, but it's actually like a really big deal for the character. So cue the heartwarming apology from mother to daughter, and they just have like the "I'm happy you're back" stuff, and then they have a fun introduction of Gabby to Sarah and how she's gonna like suck up all her time for all like the mother-daughter bonding, which was pretty fucking hilarious. Just like, I'm sure this comes as a bit of surprise, but I promise I'll make the bonding transition smooth. She's like, I've already planned some intense but quality mother-daughter time.
Yeah, I know. She's being creepy.
It's been real creepy. I think. Um. So Beast leaves with Warren because Angel is there. He's the one who took Laura to the facility in the first place in his Worthington Industries chopper because he's a billionaire and all. So he gives Beast a lift out on his chopper, and then we flip the page and we're back with Dakin, and he's getting dressed in Ian's clothes and heads up the stairs, and he walks up and he's surprised that it looks like a normal suburban home. He walks by the living room and he hears someone watching TV. He takes a look around the corner and he's surprised he sees his sister on the television. And at that moment, the woman on the couch looks back at him because the dogs growl and she knows something's wrong. And she pulls out her gun and starts screaming, what did you do? And then starts just shooting at Dakin, and Dakin fucking books it. And then we flash back again, we keep going back and forth. So we flash back to Aunt Debbie's, where Sarah tells Laura that when she was in the facility, they would wake her up every so often and ask her questions about Laura. And, she tells Laura that they want to kill her. And they also know about the Muru Masa blade. And, Gabby asks, what the hell is that? And we get a brief history on how it's one of the only weapons that can kill someone with a healing factor, and Logan had it made by one of the world's greatest sword makers, and it also is infused with a part of Logan's soul, and the tip of the sword was melted and bonded with Dakin's claws, which I don't know the full story, but I'm only assuming that it has something to do with Romulus and the origin of Wolverine and that whole story.
Dakin's died like twice. Remember, we talked about how he came back to life, and we couldn't really figure it out. But yeah, this was the one time he was killed by Wolverine, and Wolverine buried his claws.
Yeah, they had the fight, and Logan won. He buried
so
the
he
claws.
Doesn't have that anymore, right?
No, because he buried the blade with the claws.
Yeah, so they're buried that's together. What I thought. Yeah.
And Sarah asks if they have Dakin, the Orphans of X have Dakin, or the facility people, and Laura doesn't know. So Sarah asks Laura if her brother knows where the blade is buried, and Laura tells her he doesn't, but she knows where it is. So Sarah says that she's got to find it immediately and friggin' destroy it. And Laura says it's not a problem. She can get it, and she has a friend that can throw it into the sun. And then she gives Captain Marvel a call because obviously she's going to be the person to toss that shit into the sun.
Yeah, they got a Superman it.
That fucking in this page where they give you the brief rundown of the Logan Dagan fight, and you see Wolverine with that sword. Like, the art is just so fucking good. Like, Wolverine just looks awesome. So next up, we catch back up with Dakin as he's running out of the house where he's being held captive, and he's being chased by the dogs. Fucking, he gets knocked over and falls out the fucking back door, and the woman screams, everyone, it's Dakin. And Dakin's all fucking shocked. He's like, everyone? And these fucking cars just start rolling up, and he lifts up his masks to see what the deal is, and all these dudes with fucking automatic weapons and the Orphans of it and the X masks on. So Dakin runs to one of the cars, throws one of the fucking dogs into the car. That was so fucking awesome. He's like catching bullets, running to the car. I love it. He grabs the dog by the collar and just like one arm, throws that fucking thing in there. It eats the guy, and he just kicks the dude out of the car, and he takes off in the car.
Yeah.
And we flip the page and we see. I loved this part because when I was reading it, and then you turn the page, you don't expect this to happen. Like, they're standing in the living room and you see bang, bang, bang. So they can hear the gunshots coming from outside. That's when you realize that Dakin's in the neighborhood, which is kind of crazy and really makes you think, like, what are the fucking chances that they are in the same neighborhood as Laura's aunt? Not only that, but like, what are the chances that Laura's mom doesn't know that her eyes or whatever have cameras that, so you begin to wonder at this point, like, is it a fucking setup? Like,
I didn't think her mom was on the up and up at all reading this book.
No, it's really weird. So there's a lot of weird, fishy shit going on. So she tells Gabby to stay put to protect everyone. She tells Gabby at first, just stay put. Gabby's freaking out, like, oh, I can go too. I can fight. And she's like, no, you got to chill out here and fucking protect everybody. It's not like that. So she runs out of the house, and she sees the car coming, and she does a flip, over the car, sticks her blades into it, and then when she hops down, they have one of those moments. And she looks at the car, and she sees Dakin. She's like, Dakin? He's like, Laura. And they have one of those funny moments. Like, if this was a movie, it's one of those moments you'd laugh where he's like, get in. She's like, no, you get out. And he's like, I got fucking people behind me. And he looks out the back window, and there's nobody there. And then he gets out the car. He's like, all right, what the fuck is going on? And then it's to be continued for 2 weeks, I'm assuming. So, which was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, Dakin's standing there. His arm looks fucking absurdly disgusting. I almost vomited looking at that last page. It was gross as shit.
It's a disgusting nub, which is you know it's just gonna get worse because it's gonna grow back like in the Deadpool movie when he had the baby hand. Like, it's just gonna get fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
um, I thoroughly enjoyed this issue. I think next to the Nightwing New Order, this is probably my book of the week. Like the art is just absolutely fucking fantastic. Like the line work is very clean. I think like the art in this book has always been decent, but it's never been of this top choice quality. And I think that this book is finally getting the artist that it deserves. And the story is it's just perfect. Like it started off like this crazy mystery when she gets the call and she goes and sees, Dakin's arm. And then we finally get the answers. This issue, it just, it flows perfectly. The story just flows very well. Even the back and forth. Sometimes when you read stories like that, where you go like 2 pages where like Laura and then 2 pages of Dakin, that shit can be a little jarring. But in this, it just flows really perfect, and it worked really well. This is like a buy. It's a definite buy for me.
Yeah, it was had a little bit of everything. Like it had a perfect mix of action with some drama and some intrigue and a little comedy in there, and
Yeah, perfect.
art was like pretty fabulous throughout. Dakin looks pretty cool. Laura looks pretty cool. Um, there wasn't anything I didn't like about this one at all. I definitely would recommend it as a buy. If you haven't read any of the Laura All New Wolverine stuff, like I think you would really enjoy it just from the beginning to now. You'd get to know, the cast of characters she's hanging out with and making company with, and they're all fun to keep up with. Like there's not any character really that's featured in the book or that pops in and out that it makes you want to like roll your eyes when they're on the page. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
a fun time. I always have a good time when I read Tom Taylor books. I want to say the only Tom Taylor book that he's ever done that I haven't enjoyed, at least for the most part, was the Justice League Power Ranger crossover. I didn't like that really. It was just too like
Yeah.
basic
I didn't
by
like
the
that either.
numbers. I like the art in it. Like the Stephen Bryan art was pretty good, but
I'm dying to
other
read
than
his
that,
Superior Iron Man. I never read that, but it looks
Tom
pretty cool.
Taylor.
I like the armor. Yeah, he did that
Yeah,
9 issue run.
there were a
Iron Man.
weird cast of characters in that book, but it was a fun
Yeah,
story, and it only went on for like 12 issues. So but the weird thing is like how it ends. It's kind of like just forgot about after that, because then Secret Wars happened and they like never really told you the ending, kind of.
yeah. That's weird. You could tell it got cut short
But
because 9
yeah, it
issues.
definitely did. Yeah, it was a weird running series, but yeah, that was also another pretty good Tom Taylor series. But yeah, that's it for this week, guys. We're only going to give you 3 new books. Like I said, we're going to attach X-Men Blue, but that's going to be after the end credits and everything. We're gonna do a quick sign out segment here and then tell you the books for next week. Sign out segment I got for us is just recapping the first month of Legacy of October, and I got one of just your favorite book so far, and then the one that hasn't come out yet that you're still looking most forward to as far as Legacy related titles go. And I would say so far the best Legacy book, most intriguing one to me, I think is, I would say Deadpool. I think I'm leaning towards. I was thinking All New Wolverine, but I'm gonna lean to Deadpool because I've read All New Wolverine before Legacy, and Deadpool I wasn't really keeping up on, and Legacy got me kind of back onto that book. So I'm gonna give that one the credit as far as one I enjoy most so far.
Deadpool is good. I liked this past issue too. It was really good. It was.
Yeah, I didn't get to read because I didn't know that was coming out. Like I'm confused as to which ones are monthly and biweekly. Like they haven't made it really clear.
Yeah, they never do. It's weird. They just
Yeah,
randomly give
it is
bi-weekly
weird. Like
books.
I know, I think the same thing. And so I'm a little bit, I got to read the new one, but I did. I liked the first one a lot. So what would you say so far your favorite?
So far my favorite is actually Mighty Thor, because I really loved the issue, and but I recently just finished the last trade of God of Thunder, and it made me appreciate this issue more, because like what Jason Aaron's done in like these past 60 issues, like seeds he planted in issue number like 18 or 20 or 5 of fucking God of Thunder are tying together, like even the littlest things, like tiny things, like stuff that like one of his granddaughters in the future saw in a book, or something that was just mentioned on the slide, like it's being tied into this to the War of the Realms and the death of Mighty Thor. Like it's such good storytelling. It's just ridiculous how great it is. So that's definitely my favorite right now.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
most excited for.
as far as like I don't know, books coming out, this one is a little tougher for me because I was trying to find a list, and if I don't have the list in front of me, I know I'm probably overlooking one I look more forward to that I'm just forgetting. Uh, but I would like to see. I'm going to lean towards Marvel 2-in-1 because I hate Chip Zdarsky right now, like his writing style. But I'm interested to see what this Marvel 2-in-1 book is like. And if it's not that one, I would say actually the Darkhawk one shot. I'm really kind of anticipating with
Yeah,
a little
I'm interested
intrigue.
in that.
So, what about you?
I'm interested in that. Especially because of one of like what Dark Hawk is a raptor from what we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember those guys who showed up? He's one of those
Yeah,
guys. So like if that story, I know it's going to be a one shot, but if it somehow a little bit ties into that story and maybe we see him in Guardians down the road in the Infinity Hunt, like that would be pretty fucking dope. But
yeah,
that's a hard call because you know I don't Chip Zdarsky, like his Spectacular Spider-Man I hate, but his Star-Lord is really good. So like the type of character that Star-Lord is and Johnny Storm is, I could see him almost nailing that book. Especially with Jim Chung on art. That's fantastic. But I'm really excited for I got to be like I'm really curious for Tales of Suspense
yeah.
because I mean it's only going to be a 5-issue mini. Um, and it's all going to be about Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Bucky. So I'm super curious, and it has a really good creative team. So I'm super curious about that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that the Tales of Suspense and the Marvel 2-in-1, which are usually like variety books, are following a specific cast of characters. But
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird.
yeah. But anyway, well, I don't know. They're just going with some classic titles and throwing them out there. I'm fine with that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you guys, if you're looking to reach us next week, you can find us on Twitter. It's at Madness Marvel One. And then the Gmail is Marvel Madness 0 at gmail.com. We're going to bring you guys, I think we're going to do 4 next week for you. Kick off the month of November. It's going to be Captain America 695 to start with the Mark Wade, following the real Cap around on his journey to redemption. Going to do Guardians of the Galaxy for you, number 146. See what's up with that. See if we get any hits of Infinity Gems in the first Legacy issue there.
Adam
We're going to do
Warlock.
Spider-Man 234, the first Miles Morales Legacy issue. This is going to be a make or break issue of Spider-Man for my pull list here. If I don't like this Spider-Man issue, I think I'm done with Miles for a while. And then we're going to also bring you guys a little bit of the first Marvel Legacy one-shot coming out, and that is going to be Power Pack 63. So I don't have high hopes for it, but I'm going to check it out, see what it's all about.
Did you
And we'll
read
let you
the
guys
last
know.
issue of Guardians?
No, I just downloaded all the Guardian series to catch up because I've read like just random issues of that series, and before we do the Legacy one, I'll be all caught up. So I got
Because
some reading to do as far as that goes, but yeah, that's where I'm
nice.
at.
It was cool. They got a new team member, and it's I mean we know that Warlock is joining, or not, maybe not joining, but showing up in this new Infinity Hunt story. But they got a new team member in the last issue, and he's it's an unexpected team member, but it's pretty fucking awesome, and I'm glad he joined the team, and I
Yeah,
can't fucking wait.
I know who it is, so
All right,
that's been spoiled for me. It's not like a huge surprise, but
all right. I
yeah,
can't believe
I
it.
know where
Okay.
it's going. I just got to read and get there. So that'll be for next week. But yeah, we're gonna end this party for you guys. Again, you want to hear X-Men Blue? Stay tuned. Post the end credits theme song, and it will be there for you after. But we're signing out, and we will talk to you next week. Peace out.
Peace.